Good morning, everyone. This is Renell, and today we're going to do the second story in this three-part series of Blood Realm Dark Covenant. Now, on the last issue, we had Meek telling the narration of how he met the three Silent Sisters, and how they were just in the process of rescuing him from a couple of evil, well, I don't know if they're evil, but vicious Satyrians who are satyr-like warriors, and they're about to beat him down. But before we start the review, let's say our typical hellos. Hello, Joker. Hello, Plastic Plants. Got my shades back, and then my spare shades. Oh, and also, hello, ibuprofen. There's my Alterna calendar from the Alterna Indiegogo. And okay, let's get started. So, like I mentioned, very good transition from how the story ended and how the story begins. We have these two Satyrians. They're about to be rescued by the three Silent Sisters. Now, what I want to point out is that they approach, and it almost looks like the Satyrians are looking up. This book by who was it written by? Robert Geronimo. He does a lot of things with perspective, and he doesn't even try to showcase realism here, but by having fun with perspective and angles, it makes it clear that they're here, and then you see the three sisters, and you realize that they're you don't get confused that, oh, are these Satyrians looking at the back of their heads? No. So, Robert Geronimo is really fantastic with using art to tell a story. And I don't know what his training is. I have to look through some of Alterna's old videos to see exactly where he learned his craft, but he's excellent. But anyway, so you see that these Satyrians, they're about to attack. And then you can see, just by how they're set up here, these Satyrians are totally outclassed. They're outmatched. They're going to get wrecked. And you just kind of know it. Because this highlights their power, their presence, their abilities in comparison to these two Satyrians. So this is just a very well done page. And I also want to point out that Geronimo knows how and when to go outside the panels. And it never looks sloppy. It always looks like a deliberate choice. Well done, well crafted, going outside the panel. But this could very easily have just been narration and an introduction that was put there by Alterna. But no, this is all deliberate. This is a very good page composition. So, anyway, without even missing a beat, the three Silent Sisters, it might seem like they're yelling, but that's actually not quite the case. This is just an expression of them exhibiting their power. Again, look at how well done this is. Gah! When it was over, their corpses were unrecognizable. You can see they're being twisted inside out, limbs torn off, being flayed. And another thing I wanted to also mention is that Robert Geronimo makes these Satyrians look different from one another. They're similar enough to be obviously the same species, but different enough that you can tell that they're not the same. Because if you look, this one has just deeper, darker fur, or chin hairs, whatever you want to call it, a beard, than this one. And it also has slightly different... let me zoom in here. slightly different markings on the horns. So, excellent work. And so, anyway, Meek, who is narrating this tale, he's like, okay, you guys saved me. I swear fealty to you. But this is a typical of his species. I was in their debt, and I offer my life to be put into their service. This was a common practice among my kind. It was an oath only broken through death. So let's skip a couple pages to this bookmark. And so as they're traveling through the caves, they meet another terrible, fearsome creature. As the valley, as tends to happen in the valley, there's a lot of horrible creatures here. It's a harsh survival. But this is something else. Ooh. Wow. His name was Vorg the Wingless, well known to the scavengers of the canyon. And so the dragon speaks. General Gorn has promised me lordship, dominion over this region. As it should be, you are the last to die. So again, you gotta see the perspective. They're staring at him. And it's like, are they looking at him from a cliff? No, he's far away and they're far away from each other. But it's never confusing. That's the thing. He's so good with this perspective. And he doesn't skip on the art detail here either. Like, he gives Vorg, all these elaborate markings. For example, would it have hurt if he made these horns white? I don't know. What if he made these horns black? I think white might have been a little bit better, but again, even with the little things here, like, he doesn't make it a solid black. He just kind of scritch. Just excellent. Yeah, I really need to look up and review some interviews by Robert Geronimo to see how he does this. And I just want to point out foreshadowing. These birds are looking at it. So they begin to do battle. And spoiler alert, the three sisters are not invincible. But again, he's no slouch. I like how there's not like invincible, just wrecking everything in their sight. So they're sweeping around him, attacking him. But as she dies, it kind of triggers a signal. They let out like a scream. Now this is very more literal than what happened with the two Satyrians from earlier. This is actually a deliberate scream. It racks him. It turns him inside out. He is dead. Turned inside out. So when they die, there are no slouches, but when they're alive, there are no slouches, but when they die, they kind of give like a final blast, so to speak. So one of the sisters is dead. There's two more left. Let's, just a second. Yeah, let's skip a couple pages. And again, you see these birds. And Meek says, with the tower now within reach, I was once again struck by the profound feeling of being watched. It lingered over me like a shadow. It was a feeling I could not shake. It's because they are being watched. Robert Geronimo highlights that here. with the bird literally looking down, and then more birds, and quite literally here. So again, it's like a clue, and then a bigger clue, and then just kind of drop a bomb on you. We turn the page, let's see, and we just go to the very next page. And so they do finally reach the abandoned fortress. You can see just light and shadows just really well here with the white and then the black on the other side. You can see that the sun is coming somewhere from this angle. You know, little things like that. So somewhere in here is the mysterious black heart. It's that artifact they were looking for. Let me just skip a couple more pages. And so I do want to point out, though, sorry, I flubbed this a little bit. Just a second. So when they reach the tower, they're immediately assaulted. But one thing I do want to point out is that, were they lying in ambush? Were they in the tower? There's no real way to know. And so, but let's get a good look at Gorn, General Gorn. Yeah, just highlight that. So again, he has the archers shoot at the 3 silent sisters. Or 2, actually. And one of them gets hit. Gets arrows rained upon her. While the other one escapes. Meek also escapes. The sister is going down. Now let's skip a couple pages. And she's once again doing her death signal. And again, even though the Gorns, not the Gorns, the Satyrians are clearly the same species, you can tell once again their horns are a little bit different. This one kind of has almost no facial hair. This one you can clearly see has like a bigger beard. She's just about to light up the place, and she's going to do her death scream or whatever, and the forces are just ruined now. Now, we don't know if this destroyed all of Gorn's forces or if it destroyed Gorn himself, but there's major damage being done here as she does her death yell. And I also want to point out, now here's the end, where we do a little map. Very well done. Vorgoth. And now here they are in the Eyeless Canyons. So the Satyrians have invaded this way. And I like how it's Tolkien-esque and you can see it that way. It's possible that they went through the Forbidden Desert, but we'll just assume that that's not what happened. And of course, a quick review on the main characters: General Gorn, Rorg the Wingless, Dark Lord Siphus. We're going to collect his Black Heart. So yeah, this is just an excellent series. Highly recommend. It was reviewed into a part 2, second series. I'm really excited to see how this ends. And at $1.50, you can't really go wrong. You look at it this way. You can get all 3 books of this first series for $4.50, which is less than one Marvel comic or DC comic. Think about that. So, again, really highly recommend by Robert Geronimo. Just excellent. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. All I'm going to do is keep saying he's excellent. So, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.